Welcome back to our channel, and thank you for tuning in and thank you for supporting us. But if you are new to this channel and you haven't subscribed yet, please encourage us by doing so that we can bring you the latest news as they come. And together we shall work with our great leader, ﷺ IPOB and Eastern Security Network, to make our Biafran dream a reality and pull the Fulani Janjaweed to shame. He said, a US-based group, Global Advocates for Terrorism Eradication, has petitioned the United States government to designate BUHARI, his Fulani Nigerian government, and the Fulani governors as sponsors of terrorism in Nigeria. You know, the United States Secretary of State, Antony Blinken's visit is on a fact-finding mission after the U.S. government, through their FBI, uncovered the list of terrorist sponsors in Nigeria. And also after the Fulani Nigerian government did not order their military and their terrorists in military uniform to start shooting Biafrans during the Anambra election because they were threatened by the U.S. They were threatened by the United States government that any killing in Biafran land shows that Nigerian government are the sponsors of terrorism, not knowing that they were wiser than the Fulani government. They wanted to know the root cause of terrorism, who is in charge of terrorism, and that gave them like a good idea. You know, the terrorist sponsors listed by the FBI includes Buhari El-Rufai, the governor of Kaduna State, former Army Chief General Burantai, the DG DSS Yusuf Benchi, the IG of Police Usman Baba, the Army Chief Yusuf Farouk, the former Army chiefs and former police chiefs during Buhari's term from 2015 to now. They were all listed. The Fulani Janjaweed are in trouble. They are in big trouble. ﷺ legal team have warned the impostor that the Fulani Janjaweed put in Aso Rock, calling him Buhari. They have warned him and his terrorist Fulani Nigerian government that there will be no dialogue with the Fulani Nigerian government except ﷺ regains his freedom unconditionally. Nobody can initiate any dialogue until Onyendo ﷺ is released unconditionally. It is only ﷺ that has the virus to lead any meaningful dialogue with the crafty, deceptive Fulani Janjaweed Nigerian government. You know, since all other Biafran leaders, the so-called Biafran leaders, they are all fortune chasers, chasing after fortune at the expense of Biafran lives. You know, the Biafran leaders, they negotiated dialogue with the Fulani Janjaweed after the bloody civil war, the genocide civil war against Biafra in 1970. And since then, nothing meaningful came out of it. The South African apartheid government released Nelson Mandela from prison as a first step of dialogue, and that led to the end of apartheid regime in South Africa. So the Fulani Janjaweed has to follow that step. They have to release ﷺ, release him before any meaningful dialogue will take place. Already they are in trouble. They are in big trouble, and they will surely pay dearly for it. They will pay dearly for it. According to reports, a US-based group petitioned Joe Biden's government to designate Buhari, El-Rufai, others as sponsors of terrorism in Nigeria. It alleged that the Nigerian government officials were sponsoring terrorism by carrying out terrorist activities, including training, funding, financing, and recruitment of terrorists, using their offices as a safe haven. Global Advocates for Terrorism Eradication, GATE, a US-based non-profit organization, have petitioned the US government to designate Buhari and several other officials as sponsors of terrorism in Nigeria. The 26-page petition, signed by the group's principal advocate, Robert Berry, was addressed to Anthony J. Blinken, the United States Secretary of State. The group urged the United States government to designate the Nigerian government as sponsors of terrorism, alleging that from all available indices, what is happening in Nigeria is a state-sponsored terrorism. It alleged that the Nigerian government officials were sponsoring terrorism by carrying out terrorist activities, including training, funding, financing, and recruitment of terrorists, using their offices as safe haven, transit, and operational base for terrorists and terrorist activities. And that was why the Fulani terrorists were able to invade the Nigerian Defense Academy. They invaded everywhere, and they went scot-free. Now, they have been exposed. GATE in their petition accused Governor El-Rufai of Kaduna State, former Chief of Army Staff and current Nigerian Ambassador to Republic of Benin, ﷺ, who is the reason why Igboho is still in prison, and the Director General of State Services, Yusuf Magaji Binchi, of aiding terrorism in Nigeria. Others accused of terrorism by GATE are former Inspector General of Police Mohammed Adamu, Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State, Minister of Communication, Justice and Information Isa Petami, Abubakar Malami, and Lai Mohammed, respectively, amongst others. It alleged that the Nigerian government officials have deployed the instrumentality of power and using the veil of sovereignty in knowingly consenting and with malicious intent, allowing and promoting the use of Nigeria as a breeding ground and recruitment nursery for international terrorism activities, contrary to Foreign Relations Authorization Act, fiscal year 1988 and 1989, as amended. No wonder they formed the Islamic State in West African province, right there in northeast and northwest Nigeria. You know, according to the group also gave a 2-month notice to the United States government, warning that if at the expiration of the 2 months deadline and the designation is not made, GATE will proceed to the federal court in the United States to apply for a writ of mandamus to compel the United States Secretary of State to issue the designation in line with the provision of law. GATE argued that designating Nigerian officials as sponsors of terrorism by the United States will have far-reaching legal implications, including potentially arrest and criminal prosecution in a federal U.S. court if they visit the United States of America. Buttressing its point, the group cited an interview of former Deputy Director of Defense Intelligence Services of the Nigerian Military, Navy Commodore Kunle Olaomi, granted Channels Television on August 24, 2021. It said, in spite of the revelations from the interview, the Nigerian government did nothing about the issues raised. Instead, they tried to threaten the retired Navy Commodore, they threatened him that in spite of this knowledge, the Nigerian government has vehemently refused to take appropriate measures to protect her citizens and the global community from the nefarious activities of those state actors. The group concluded the current Nigerian government, led by Buhari, is executing a global jihadist agenda that is comparable, if not more insidious, than that of Taliban of Afghanistan. It is even more dangerous because it is mixed with genocidal tendencies. It is in the best interest of the United States and all democratic countries of the world to identify this threat early and address it now. This is to prevent the further spread of global jihadist agenda of Buhari's government and to arrest an imminent ethnic and religious genocide. The Fulani Janjaweed, their cup is full. The whole world are now coming after them. In a matter of days, that zoo will collapse. The zoo called Nigeria must collapse. It must collapse for Biafra to emerge. And our leader, ﷺ, will be freed, will be set free unconditionally. And Biafra given to him. Thank you, my brothers and my sisters, for watching this video. And bye-bye for now.